Good morning everybody, welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4. My name is Lily and I'm actually really excited about today's build. We're doing a community lot. It is a cafe that also doubles as a dog park. So the cafe itself is what I'm building out now. It's on a trailer and I have to thank someone on Reddit for this because they put up an amazing post last week and showed how you could make a trailer on the Sims 4 Reddit page, and I thought that was such a cool idea and I used their tutorial to build out my trailer, and then the rest of it I just had the inspiration behind what would you do at a dog park. You'd like to have a coffee at a dog park, so I made it a dog park. I went with this cute little pink vibe. It's very quaint, it's quite girly, I suppose, but I like the idea of thinking that the person who owns this cafe has just sort of pulled up a trailer and it's could be here forever, it could be here for a short amount of time. You don't really know the backstory, only that someone has sort of dropped off a tiny house, if you will, at this park and turned it into a cafe. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love the landscaping and I won't get ahead of myself, I'll let you watch it as it unfolds, but I have been listening to your guys' feedback around doing more community lots. I know that a lot of people have found my page through the Avaris Acres park build that I did about a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago now. Wow, time flies. But everyone really liked that. They get a lot of value out of having a community lot build that they can download rather than houses, because I feel like everyone loves experimenting and building houses, but when it comes to community lots, it's sometimes a little bit easier if you can just download one that's already been pre-made. So I'm going to go through a pretty heavy stage of community lots for the next few weeks. I've already built out quite a few, so I've got a renovation on the Stargazer Lounge, is that what it's called, in San Myshuno, and it's so cool. I love it. So that's coming up, I think, next week. And then I've also built out an art gallery, and I'm really excited about the art gallery as well, because the whole reason I did an art gallery is so that I can share some of my own personal artwork with you in The Sims. So I have to thank Mysterious Alpaca, who left an awesome comment that suggested I pop my own artwork into my Sims game and I share it with the community and show you guys sort of a little bit about my outside life in my Sims videos, because I am a visual artist and a graphic designer by day. And Lanice, thank you as well. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You are so beautiful. You directed me towards James Turner's tutorial for how to get your own art as custom content into the game. So I've been doing that in the background. I've built out quite a few pieces and they look awesome and I'm so excited to share them with you. So once I've shared the gallery speed build, I'll do another video where I can actually fill up that gallery with all of my own artwork. It seems a bit narcissistic now that I say it out loud, but I think it'll be cool. And then I can show you guys some of the stuff I do day to day. I do a lot of digital artwork, a lot of watercolor, a lot of sculpting. I do all sorts of different things, but all of the digital artwork that I do and I draw on my iPad is probably where I'll start in sharing stuff to the Sims 4 gallery for you guys. So that's all to come. But in regards to today's build, I wanted to make this like a little dog-friendly cafe. I specifically chose to include lots of clutter and just kind of make this just a bit, I don't know, just all thrown together, just kind of like someone, like I said at the beginning, just like someone's pulled up their trailer, it's part of their home, or, you know, they feel like, not part of their home, what am I saying? It's like a tiny house trailer, I suppose. And so I just kind of wanted it to feel homey and not too overstyled and just kind of like thrown together, is what I'm trying to say. And so I think I did a pretty good job at that. I've got lots of little clutter items from the debug menu, so you can see now I'm popping those bottles in there from that menu, and lots of artwork on the walls. I know that when you go to a lot of cafes, or like more approachable cafes, not so trendy cafes, that all of the kids that come, they do little colorings and they usually give it to the cafe owner to pop on the wall. So that was kind of my inspiration in that little corner there. It's also some postcards, as though the owners had lots of travels, and so they're just like I said, it's like their home on wheels that they come to and work now that they're not traveling so much. Maybe COVID has impacted them. That's probably a bit too much realism, but anyway. It's a really nice like light white vibe in there and a pink on the outside, so as I said, very girly, and I'm obsessed with the landscaping that I do with this park. I started out with these from the debug menu as well, these like garden bed things to create sort of like a centerpiece walkway in the center of the park. So you sort of walk through the middle. There's a beautiful bronze dog sculpture that's giving a little butterfly kiss that's landed on its nose. So I thought that was super cute. So I wanted to use that as like a centerpiece. And then I'm using the garden beds around the outside as well, just to create a little bit of, I suppose, symmetry and bordering. I do use plants outside of the garden beds though, which is quite bizarre because it's sort of the opposite of what you would normally do with them, but I thought that that was a cool touch, so we'll get to that. I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do with the grass and with the landscaping in terms of paving. Like, did I want to spray paint it? Did I want to use actual tiles? And I do end up spray painting it, I think. I'm pretty sure I do. But this was me just experimenting with things here, popping up the dog sculpture onto a little bit of a platform. I have actually got a version of this without the platform because I found that once I play tested that sculpture in the middle, it was actually really hard for your Sims to walk around the center. So they were going around the sides of the park to get to the cafe. So what I've done is I'm going to delete that platform from the one that you can download on the gallery so that, you know, you've got a better play tested version, I suppose. But for the sake of the video, it looks quite nice having that up on a little platform. It looks quite fancy. So a little bit more like elegant, I suppose. And this park has heaps of seating, lots of places that you can sit down and relax. I've chosen the lot traits that include convivial, so lots of people tend to come here. Dog friendly, so a lot of owners come here with their dogs to hang out, and a dog hangout. So there's lots of dogs here, whether they're with their owner or not. So if you've got the cats and dogs pack, which I'm assuming you would if you want to pop this into your game, that this is going to be sort of the best place ever to hang out with your little pooches and your little furry friends. I am a dog person, personally. I don't not like cats. I actually grew up with cats as well. I think they're beautiful and cute when you get a good cat. I think you can get a bad cat you know, more often than you can get a bad dog, I suppose. I have, from testament, I've had 2 cats in my life, one of which was the sweetest little thing who just loved to be like a dog. Like, you could whistle and she'd come to you. Her name was Tilly. She was so sweet. And then my second cat, Brenda, what a horrible name for a cat. I think it's ridiculous, but my mum randomly went out one day and came home laughing her head off, and she was like, I just went to the vet and I changed the cat's name to Brenda. I don't even remember what it was before she did that, but that was very random of my mum, but she's been stuck with it ever since. So Brenda is still around. She's a British Shorthair, but she's not a very nice cat, man. She's really not. She's really grumpy and she doesn't like affection. She doesn't like coming up to you. You know, she's just a little bit of a, she's of her own mind, I suppose. Brenda is. She probably knows we called her Brenda and she's resenting us for it. But nonetheless, I am a dog person because every dog I've ever had has been so beautiful and loving and just, you know, like a dog. Dogs are just the best things ever. Ever. So I had a black Labrador growing up called Alice, who was super beautiful. Again, a bit of a weird name for a dog. But anyway, she was gorgeous. And then I had a black pug when I was living at my best friend's house for a few years called Dolly, who was gorgeous and she's still around. She's a beautiful girl. And Julian and I are really keen to get a dog, but we really want to have a proper house or room for the dog to run around. Like, we don't want to get a dog that has to stay in an apartment all day. So for that reason, we're waiting, but we would love to get a Cocker Spaniel or just go to the pound and just adopt anything, that any little puppy that needs our help. So anyway, until I get a real dog, I've got the Sims to help me tide over my desire to have a dog park and places I can go and hang out with the dog when I eventually get one. So I really love this park. I really love the idea that you come here with your dogs, you meet other dogs, you sort of might end up with a little bit of a walking crew that you go dog walking with. Anyway, that was the idea behind the space. And so there's lots of little places for you to have your coffee. There's obviously bathrooms, heaps of landscaping. This landscaping reminds me very much of what I did in the Avaris Acres park build that you all seem to really, really like. So I kept with the flow a bit there. It's the easiest type of landscaping you can do. It's just get the eyedropper tool and use the same 5 plants over and over and over again, and cluster them all together and use some rocks to hold them in. I do talk a little bit more about had a landscape like that in that Avaris Acres Park build, so you can go and check that out if you want some more tips. But I also plan to do a tutorial series, like just 5-minute tutorials on different things within the game. So that will be one of the topics for discussion, is landscaping. I feel like it's the way that you tie everything together. Everything looks a bit unpolished and whatever until you do your landscaping, and then it looks all beautiful. And terrain paint too, of course. So terrain paint is just the best way to tie everything in and make it look really realistic. So you'll also see me going in and just popping some little finishing touches around the edges of the garden bed. So a bit of dirt here and there, just to make it look a little bit more realistic and give it a bit more depth. And again, I'm just framing the sides of this little stepping stone path with more flowers. And you can find those stepping stones in the debug menu. There's heaps of tutorials online to find that menu. I won't go into it now, but you should definitely use it if you haven't already started using the debug menu. Anyway, a few little finishing touches. I still have to put some seating in for the cafe section. The thing about this since playtesting is that people do really like to hang out inside the cafe. I don't know if that's a glitch or I don't know why that's happening. So hopefully you can get your Sims to come and sit outside. I was able to if I'd sit them down and then called over people to come and sit with me if I was in a group. So that was fine, but do be warned that people do like to hang out inside that tiny, tiny little trailer cafe. So you might have to force them to come outside. And in terms of underneath the trailer, I just wanted to get a few more plants in there, make it look a little bit more realistic as I have everywhere else. And so I'm just filling it up with lots of plants, and I also put in some community garden beds as well behind the trailer, which you'll see in a moment. But I'll let you watch that up on screen as I say goodbye, because we are coming towards the end of the video. I want to thank you again, like I do every week, and thank the beautiful people who've been commenting and offering suggestions. And I do listen, I read every single comment, and I love when you guys have input for me or constructive feedback and criticism. So I'm looking for you in the comments, so feel free to say hi, hello, and I will see you guys next week in next week's video. I've updated all of the links in my description, which have been having a bit of trouble lately, so hopefully you haven't got an issue getting onto my Discord if you want to come and say hello there. But otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!